Welcome to Slasher Sunday. So, moving on with our prom night franchise for. Wait, let's see. Prom night 3. Prom night 3. That's hard to line up. Prom night 3. There you go. Then it'll look like I only have this on DVD. Anyway, so. This actually has Mary Lou Mahoney in it and was written by the same director. Now, I have seen this before, but it has been a while. That is the connection to the last one, and all of these have been set at Hamilton High. I feel like this is a film that takes place in an alternate reality of Mary Lou's death and then her resurrection, her, homecoming, as it were, in the second one, I guess I should say, because there's zero mention of the second one. There's no connection to the second one. Just she came back in the second one, and I know that the writer of this wrote it at the same time he wrote the second one. So that's odd to me because he wrote it in case they wanted a sequel, but then didn't connect them at all. Like, she rode off in the principal's body at the end to be with him and to take advantage of the shit, whatever. So, if you had a sequel in mind and you wrote one already, why does it have no connection at all outside of Mary Lou's character? So bizarre. So fucking bizarre. Anyway, now the opening of this movie reminded me of one of my favorite teen comedies of all time, License to Drive, with Corey Haim and Corey Feldman, and a young Heather Graham as Mercedes Lane. I think she's of age in that movie. Otherwise, I take back the whistle. But she's a beautiful woman regardless. Anyway, but yeah, it's a very similar scene because it has like this dreamlike atmosphere to it. It's a hellish looking place that they're in. This has to do with a high school student, and they're like ramshackled, and she's sawing through it. And then when it breaks, she gets out of hell. It just very, very... Even before I saw that she was shackled and cutting through her shackles, I was like, this feels like License to Drive. And then as soon as she started kind of sawing through her shackles, I was like, oh, wow, this really, really reminds me of Les Anderson trying to escape the school bus. So there you go. As soon as her shackle breaks, her grave explodes. Now, has she been pulled back down into hell and this is her escaping? Because in the second one, she was trapped in what do they call those things? Those big suitcase chests. Oh, they have like a wardrobe chest or something like that. That's where she was in the second one. In this one, she's down in hell and she has to cut herself free. This is a really, really goofy movie. It's entertaining, but it does drag at points. I had a good time with it, but it is not as good as I remember it to be. I found it a little bit of a chore at times to get through. But it's pretty zany and pretty silly. The only thing I guess my issues are really that, A, it's way too tame of a movie for how ridiculous it is, and the fact that it's an R-rated movie in a slasher franchise. This shit should have been fun in a gratuitous kind of way, whether that be nudity, killings, gore, whatever. There's some interesting stuff going on in here with the kills, like some like little fun things to talk about, like the teacher getting ice cream cones through the hands. I thought that was pretty funny. I was like, damn, those are some really tough sugar cones that Mary Lou has. And then she makes a banana split inside of the guy's remains. So I thought that was cool. So the death with the teacher was fun. But then, like, the next kill is the guidance counselor or whatever the hell she is. And she is put under a dryer, and there's battery acid in it for some reason, and it starts to like melt her face, but we never really seeing her face melt. We just see that there's a substance that's running down her face, and it's like, oh, you could have had her face melting, and that would have been badass, but no. And then the next death is a sports ball being thrown at someone to kill them. And let me tell you, it does not live up to the one in Wes Craven's Deadly Friend with the basketball crushing that chick's head. That's one of the greatest kills ever from one of the dumbest, pointless movies ever. God, I hate that movie. But regardless, that's at least a great kill. This is just dumb. It's a football, and then it like turns into this drill bit metal thing. It's like shaving through the air. The effect of that's pretty cool, especially for 1990. I was like, oh, that's actually a pretty impressive thing. But then it just hits him and it sticks him up on the goalpost. Speaking of the goalpost, what the hell? That's their football stadium, arena, freaking whatever. Wow, I've seen parks in the ghetto with a better football field than that. That was dreadful. That's where they have their games at Hamilton High. Isn't Hamilton High supposed to be like a higher end school? Jeez, man, they really need to get some funding there for their athletics programs, because they are pretty terrible. Okay, but the principal cutting off his finger in the opening was kind of cool because the hand did look real. I knew it was a fake hand and I was like, hey, he's gonna cut his finger off. They made it pretty obvious, but still looked like a pretty good hand. And when he cuts through it, it's cool. I guess the guy doesn't have bones in his fingers, so yeah, because he just cuts right through it with a pair of dull-ass scissors like that. You would not cut through your finger. It just like snips through it like paper. It's hilarious. I work with shears all day long, and they are 10,000 times sharper than some nonsense freaking paper cutting scissors. I work with professional grade shears, and they are sharp as fuck. And when you get them sharpened, we used to have this guy who would sharpen us for it, and he would give us a Band-Aid, kind of almost as a joke, but practically as well, because any hairdresser knows that the day that you get your shears sharpened, you're going to cut yourself within the first 3 days. It's just a given. Don't even try to not do it. You're gonna do it. It's kind of a joke. And so trust me, you cannot cut through your finger even with the sharpest of freaking scissors unless you were to really push down. Not that I've tried, but I've cut myself a lot on the fingers over the years. And although I don't cut this hand, I have the shears in this hand. That's not proper form, Jason. Sorry. Just the thumb for anybody who wants to be a professional hairdresser. Anyways, moving on from that. I talked too much about that, but hey, been a hairdresser for 15 freaking years, and I barely ever talk about it here, so there you go. Anyway, moving on. And what is this crap? Yeah. I like the depictions of hell in this. Aesthetically, I thought it was cool and memorable. It reminds me of something. I'm having a hard time remembering what that is right now. Maybe it'll come to me during the review. I was thinking about it upstairs when I was writing this down, but then I didn't go back to thinking about it until right now. And of course, I don't ever think about things before I press record. So I don't know. Maybe it'll come to me though. I keep saying it's a slasher movie. I guess her Happy Birthday to Me is what I keep coming up with in my head. The birthday sequence at the end with all the dead bodies there and whatnot, but that doesn't make sense because that's not a real depiction of hell. So maybe I'm just a freaking lunatic. But I did really like the way it looked. That was one thing from the film that I dug. And okay, so Alex, our main character here, he has this girlfriend, real pretty young girl, and he is he just does not deserve this girl at all. Like, he is just a total shit to her throughout the movie. And he's cheating on her with Mary Lou and everything, but he forgets her anniversary. Their first anniversary. How do you forget your first anniversary? Like, I could understand like 10, 15 years down the road. I don't know. Actually, maybe not. Maybe it's the reverse, but I don't know. I'm really good with dates. I'm really good with like people's birthdays and shit like that. I remember that stuff really well. So I don't think I'd forget that regardless, but maybe once it like sets in and you've done it a bunch, then the day will kind of be part of your psyche there. But I don't know. It's young love. When you're young and in love, when you're in high school and you guys are crazy, like that's the most. I don't want to say it's the most in love you'll ever be, because I don't think that's real. I don't think that's the truth. But it's the most obsessive with your love you'll ever be, because you just have nothing else to compare it to. There's not much else going on in your life, so it's like really your primary focus. And this guy just does not care about his girlfriend anywhere near enough, in my opinion. But there you go. But he takes her to a candlelit dinner, which is last second because he really didn't remember their anniversary and pretended to do it. And all it is they're having burgers in his car with 2 candles up on the dashboard, which, I will agree is funny. But I was looking at this guy like, you jerk off. You jackass. The hell's wrong with you? But young love, right? What does this kid know? And the first meeting of Mary Lou and Alex is a ridiculous sequence. There's a lot of like use of like sound effects and music in this that is hilariously stupid. Like, they start making love. I never say making love. They start fucking. They start having sex on a American flag, and like Yankee Doodle, it starts playing, and there's a lot of that like really hilariously placed music, and then there's lots of like background voices, like background characters, like some ADR that was added later. Listening to those characters is funny. I love stuff like that. I love when there's voices in the back and you can kind of like decipher them or hear them like just kind of muffled or low, and they're really funny sequence. This has that in it, and there was a few instances where I laughed, and one of those, of course, being when he's on the phone with his parents and he's talking to them, and it's like Charlie Brown's mom or something. He's like, hey, blah blah blah, and they're like, it's. So this is definitely going for comedy. But here's the thing. As I had said earlier, this movie's way too tame for its own good. Absolutely. The kills are lame. There's no nudity. There's sex scenes, and Mary Lou's topless, but she never shows her tits. It's a shame, and it's a different actress playing Mary Lou. Both are beautiful. But there are also moments in this when Alex is in an argument with his buddy, who I feel like his buddy wants to be more than buddies in this. Anybody else get that feeling that his friend is gay for him? Like the way that he talks to him and just the things that he says, he's always trying to get them to go away together, and he's like, it's about you and me, and they're like close in the locker room. Like, it very much feels like the friend has got interest in him as more than friends. And he's only got his right ear pierced. I know that might not be a thing anymore, but that was like the telltale sign when I was a kid. Hey, wait, what ear does he have pierced? Just the right one? Ooh, I don't know. And this is 1990, so I don't know. But then the sister comes on to him, and because at that point I was like, oh, maybe not, or maybe he's bi. I don't know. But then all he really says is, wow, you've really grown up. So it's not like he's into her. He kind of gets uncomfortable, I suppose. So I'm not really sure if that was going in the direction if he wanted to fuck her, because I'm pretty sure he didn't want to fuck her. He wanted to fuck her brother, which was his buddy. But anyway, that all being said, let's move on from there. And Yeah, back when teachers used to be able to smack around students. So the teacher is in the class and he's talking to Alex, and Alex says something and he baps him on the head with his paper. And I was like, oh man, nowadays it'd be criminal freaking charges pressed against that guy. You don't even use their. No, never mind. I'm not gonna get into some political bullshit right now. But we live in interesting times. And I already saw all that. I said all that. Oh, did I? No, yeah, I kind of got off track there because I was talking about how his friend was gay. Where I was going with that is that in that sequence, in that fight with him, they clearly edited out the cussing. Clear as day. Like, bullshit. He just says bull, I think. And then the friend goes to call him a dick and he calls him a jerk. He's like it's like, and he's like, jerk. It's hilarious. Yeah. I don't get it because it's a rated R movie. But then you go on IMDb and you look at the parental guide and it's like violence, sex, cussing, drugs and alcohol. Everything's like mild, 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 mild. I'm like, how the hell did this get an R rating? But then the song at the end, the American Woman Redux, whatever the hell, rap version song, says fuck in it. And I was like, so the song can say fuck, but they can't say dick? What kind of a movie is this? An R-rated movie. Why is cussing edited out of an R-rated film? You can say whatever the fuck you want. He could walk to his friend and be like, what's up, cunt? Like, why is it edited out? I don't get it. I know I bring this up every time, but anytime I say that word, I feel like I'm having like a either stuttering or stroking out or something. Edited. Anyway. I know. I have to mention it every time. His parents don't seem to love him very much because they bought him a motorcycle. What kind of a parent would buy their kid a motorcycle, which I don't feel like he's ever driven before? And like, here's a Harley. A Harley too? A Harley Davidson? As I said, this must be a pretty prestigious area where the parents are buying him a fucking Harley Davidson as opposed to like a Suzuki or something. You know, Harley is an expensive ass motorcycle. So they can't even afford a football field in their school. That is some rinky-dink shit. And then his girlfriend, I guess who he should have broke up with because she bakes when she's mad, and then she takes out the hot sheets and she throws them up on the granite countertops. Just hot pans right there up on there. That's going to crack the sealant, just so you know. I know you don't care because you didn't buy the place. I know you don't care because it's your parents' responsibility, but you should know better. You're like 18 years old. How dare you? I notice the stupidest shit. It's funny. I'll watch these movies or I'll watch TV shows and I'll miss really obvious stuff sometimes, and people will point it out and I'll be like, oh shit, I missed that. But then I'll miss the most inane, stupid ass shit, like someone putting a hot pan on a countertop, and I'll be like, "Oh, what are you doing?" So yeah, I don't really know why, but that is something I always notice. All right. So yeah, Mary Lou just throughout the movie just keeps trying to kill anyone who is trying to hold Alex back, which is kind of odd to me because she wants to be with him, and she seems, I guess she can leave the school at any point, but she's kind of like tied to that school, so I feel like she would want him to remain there. So getting him to play better football, getting him to get better grades, like that would only just take him away. But she wants what's best for him because she loves him, right? What did he do to earn her love in this movie? Why him? What is it even? What is the connection here that I'm missing? Her grave blows up and this guy's just so hot that she's like, I love Alex. Like, this movie does not do anywhere near a good enough job to even present something. And although, as I just said, maybe I missed something there. There were lulls in the movie where I was kind of like zoning out. So maybe somebody said something that would connect them together, and I'm like, oh shit. Go back to the granite countertops because that's what matters. Um, but yeah, their love story in this, which, as I said, he doesn't even have like the defense of, oh, I was in a trance. It was just like, she's a hot babe and I fucked her. Like, right, like, meets her, starts kissing, like they almost instantly kiss and instantly start fucking. She's taking his clothes off, making love. And there's like no remorse. He still goes around his girlfriend. He still tries to keep her around. And it's like, dude, am I supposed to care for you and your girlfriend in this movie? Like, especially towards the end when she like jumps down into hell for him. She goes to hell to get this guy back. And he was sticking his dick in another woman within 30 seconds of meeting her. There you go. So, Prom Night 3, the last kiss indeed. This guy doesn't deserve no more kisses. Other background dialogue, Mrs. Melanoma has returned to her job at the toxic waste plant. I thought that was pretty funny. And I had some like cryptic ass thing in here somewhere, and I'm not seeing it at the moment. Maybe I'll find it. The cop in this movie is Brock Simpson, the guy who's in the previous 2 installments and the next one. So there you go. If you're looking for who he is in all of these, he is the cop who Alex takes hostage when he gets himself out of jail. And doing the bump and grind, the song that the Prom band is singing, and then the dude she comes to the dance with, Leonard, I think, right? He starts breaking out his Ricky dance from Better Off Dead, which was also at the Prom. I love that movie. Monique Juna, Diane Franklin, you wonderful, wonderful lady. And yeah, just Leonard, what a geek. He's calculating every single minute of the Prom. He's like, we got 7 minutes. We got 7 extra minutes of free time to do anything, aka me finger blasting you in the back of the car. There you go. 7 minutes in heaven with Leonard. You're not gonna have a better time than that. And he's probably got it all detailed. Like, he's going to work the clip for like 3 minutes, and then he's going to like start playing with the butthole maybe at the end, just to kind of spice things up. Leonard would never touch anyone's butthole. Come on. He's a traditional guy. He's not kinky like that. The fuck am I talking about? All right. And then, yeah, so why is Shane the friend, the gay friend? Oh, I already answered my own question. Why is Shane in hell? More proof. There you go. There it is. So I was wondering why Shane was down in hell, and then I'm like, well, is it because Mary Lou killed him and whoever she kills goes to hell? That's fucked up. Like, you're killed by some demonic spirit, so it takes you down into hell with it? That's unfair, man. Like, the saving grace of getting killed or young and early by some demon is that at least you get to go to heaven, right? Isn't that kind of like, the silver lining in it all? But that all being said, it's because he's gay. He went to hell because he's gay. I figured it out. By the way, I don't believe in that shit, all right? I don't believe in fucking anything, but I sure as fuck, if there is a heaven or whatever, I do not believe you go there because you don't go there because you're gay. Jesus. That was ironic. All right, anyway. That's pretty funny. I was trying to figure out, why is Shane in hell? Because he's gay. I'm gay. Oh, man. If you haven't watched Kids in the Hall Brain Candy, any of that stuff, good shit. All right. I like the jukebox throwing Saw records out at her. Records with saw blades around it. I almost felt like this thing was made by the Cenobites, and it should have been featured in Hellraiser 3: Hell on Earth with that freaking CD thrower, and then he would have a jukebox thrower next to him. It would have been like his R2-D2. And then yeah, his girlfriend just grabs a flamethrower and a bomb. Sure, why not? That's just laying around. Hell, you got a CD or a freaking saw throwing jukebox, so there's flamethrowers lying around. So she picks up a flamethrower. She blows up Mary Lou, and then Mary Lou's just back, of course, and they drive right through her, which I guess she's like a Horcrux, because like they touch her and then they're warped into what they think is their, 1990 reality, and in which the reality is that they are time warped into Mary Lou's 1957. Is that right? I think it is. Yeah, 1957, and then 87 is the film. That's 30 years later. Yes. But is it? Because no one can see him or hear him. So, I don't know. Weird stuff. And then he's like, all right, you bitch, you win. Credits. That's a grim ending. She kills his girlfriend, and then he's like, all right, you win. And then boom, I guess she got her man. Love wins. Love wins the day for Mary Lou. It's the last kiss. So there you go. Prom night 3. I swear I had another. Oh, the doctor is in. That's what it was. There's a line because he wants to be a doctor, and she's helping him with his grades. So she's helping him get to be at a place where he could become a doctor. And so as they're celebrating for his good grades and he slips his dick inside of her, she says, the doctor is in. That shit's amazing. That line's amazing. If I ever became a doctor, that's the first thing I would want to do. I would want to have sex, and I would just beg the girl, demand. If I'm a doctor, I can demand things. Be like, I need you to tell me the doctor is in as soon as I'm inside of you. Otherwise, it's like null and void. Like, I'm not a doctor until that's said. So, like, patients will be lining up, and I'll be like, no one's fucked me yet and said this line. So, you guys are all just going to have to sit out here and die until someone has sex with me. I don't know if I might get disbarred for that, though, because then people would be like, so you're saying fuck me or die? Maybe. What the fuck am I talking about tonight? Well, if you're going to accuse me of drug use, I think tonight's the night, because I'm not sure if I am or not. Anyways, this movie drove me fucking crazy, I guess. This movie is silly. It's not fantastic. Mary Lou, Prom Night 2, Hello Mary Lou, Prom Night 2 is definitely the superior one of these two for sure. But still a fun time. What do you guys think about this film? Oh, right, the janitor hit his jack in a mop bucket. I forgot about that. Yeah, not a good idea. Not a good idea. Because there's mop water all over the spout of your drink there, dumbass. So it's probably why you're a janitor. Not that isn't a respectable job. I just downplayed janitorial duties as a shitty job. Man, I need to get off of here before I say something I will really regret. Adios.